Hello students, in this class today we are going to talk about strength, its concept, types, factors, methods and management of the strength training program. To start with, we will just first introduce the topic. Training is a process of preparation for some task. Sports training is a pedagogical process based on scientific principles aiming at preparing sportsmen for higher performances in sports competitions. Sports training is also essential to understand the meaning of the terms conditioning and coaching. Conditioning is a process of gradually preparing the body for strenuous physical activities, thus focusing on the development of physical and motor fitness components that comprises of strength, endurance, speed, flexibility, coordinative abilities, and directly enhancing sports performance. Now let us look at the concept of the term strength. Strength has been considered as the most important conditional ability. It has been the most significant factor to enhance sports techniques and performance. Development of strength also contributes to the indirect development of other conditional abilities, namely speed and endurance. Since all sports movements are created by the contraction of muscles, therefore, strength is an important component of various conditional abilities, skills, and tactical actions as well. Strength and the strength training, therefore, assumes high performance for achieving good performance in all sports. The role of strength training for general health, good posture, and for the prevention of injuries is usually overlooked, which in the long run can prove harmful. Zimmerman in 1989 has very rightly pointed out the positive effects of strength training on muscles, bones, joints, heart, circulatory system, metabolism, and the nervous system. Strength is the ability to overcome resistance or to act against resistance. Strength should not be considered a product of only muscular contractions. It is, in fact, a product of voluntary muscle contractions caused by the neuromuscular system, Having understood the concept, let us now talk about the different types of strength. In sports movements, strength always appears in some combination with the duration and speed of movement, that is, in combination with endurance and speed abilities. In each sports movement, strength appears in a different form. Strength can be classified into the following three types: maximum strength, explosive strength, and strength endurance. First, let us talk about maximum strength. Maximum strength is the ability to overcome maximum possible resistance. It is measured by finding out the maximum resistance which can be overcome or the maximum force which can be applied by the muscles. The maximum strength is a motor ability that involves force application during a voluntary movement. The best examples are weightlifting and throwing events such as shot put, discus and hammer throws in track and field. The intensity is usually high, that is 90 to 100%. Repetitions are less that is 1 to 3 repetitions. Recovery is given full, which may approximately range to 3 minutes. And the sets are in between 3 to 10 sets. Next, we will be discussing about explosive strength. It is a combination of strength and speed abilities. It can be defined as the ability to overcome the resistance with high speed. Depending on the nature of combination of strength and speed, the explosive strength can be further divided into start strength, strength speed or power, and speed strength. The best examples are sprints, jumps, smashing in volleyball, and hitting in hockey, etc. Here the intensity is kept between 80 to 90%. The repetitions are 4 to 8 repetitions in a set. Recovery time ranges in between 90 to 180 seconds, and the sets are 3 to 6 sets. The next form of strength is strength endurance. Like explosive strength, strength endurance is also a product of two motor abilities. It is the ability to overcome the resistance longer time under the conditions of fatigue. Strength endurance can be in the form of static, that is also known as isometric, or dynamic, that is also known as isotonic strength, depending on the fact whether the movement is static or dynamic. Depending on the nature of combination of strength and endurance, the strength endurance can be further classified into proper strength endurance and endurance strength. The best examples are long distance races in track and field, swimming, distance cycling, wrestling, boxing, etc. The intensity is kept low, that is from 40 to 60%. The repetitions are higher, that is more than 12. Recovery time is also from 60 to 90 seconds, and the sets ranges in between 3 to 6. Now, we will be discussing on the factors that determine strength. Strength is a highly trainable motor ability. Before taking up a discussion of the means and methods for improving strength, it is very essential for us to know the factors on which strength depends. This will help us in understanding the nature of strength as well as the proper and effective formulation of strength training. The very important factors which determine strength are discussed further. First and foremost is the physiological cross-section of the muscle. The muscle cross-section indicates the size of the muscle. As a result of regular strength training, the diameter of the muscle increases. That is also known as hypertrophy. And it becomes capable of producing more strength. It is an accepted fact that bigger and larger muscles can generate more force. The force which can be generated by 1 square centimeter of muscle ranges from about 6 to 10 kp. This is nearly the same in males and females. Men, however, are stronger because they have much larger muscle mass as compared to women. The next point is morphology of the muscle. A person with dominance of fast twitch or phasic muscle fibers can produce more force because fast twitch muscle fibers can contract faster. Thirdly, the next important point is coordination of muscles that participate in the movement. the level of strength is markedly affected by coordination. In every movement, two groups of muscles are involved. That is the agonist and the antagonist. When the agonist contracts, the antagonist should completely relax. This coordination between the two can result in greater amount of strength. Next important point is the phosphagen stores in the body. Muscle needs energy for contraction, which comes from the breakdown of phosphagen, that is adenosine triphosphate and creatine phosphate. Greater the phosphagen stores in the body, higher will be the production of energy for contraction of the concerned muscle. Another factor that determines strength is body weight. A person with higher body weight is generally considered stronger than a person with lighter body weight. This is particularly true in case of trained sportsmen. The positive relationship between body weight and strength can be partly explained by the larger muscle mass of bigger and heavier persons. The other reasons for complete understanding of this relationship, however, are not clear. Perhaps greater mass of bones, connective tissues, and possibly also fat tissues is essential to support large muscles. All this results in more body weight. The last factor that influences strength are psychic factors. Psychological factors, namely motivation, emotion, anger, aggression, etc., have direct bearing on strength performance. It has been proved that psychic factors limit the individual's capacity to fully utilize his strength capacity or potential. A fully aroused state of mind with the determination to apply maximum force results in a very strong nerve impulse, leading to activation of larger number of motor units. The trained sportsmen are able to push their psychological limits to a significant extent. Next, we are going to discuss on the methods of strength training. Weight training and many other forms of resistance exercises using gadgets other than barbells and weight plates are effective for developing different forms of strength. The intensity, density, duration, and repetitions or frequency have to be so planned to know the contribution of the exercise to the development of different types of strength. For resistance exercises, movements can be performed against one's own body weight, weight of a partner, and even weight jackets, wrist and ankle collars can be used to increase the resistance. Medicine ball exercises, rubber cable exercises, harness running, and different forms of partner exercises can be performed to improve strength. Utilizing the 4 forms of muscle contractions, namely isotonic contraction, isometric contraction, eccentric contraction, and isokinetic contraction, different methods of strength training are planned. Variations are made in the intensity, repetitions, number of sets, and recovery between the sets and series so that different forms of strength can be trained. The popular methods of strength training are discussed further. First is the simple method or system. This method is basically recommended for beginners. A simple schedule of 6 to 8 exercises is developed so as to cover all the major muscles of the body. 3 into 8 repetitions of each exercise are performed. The exercises should be so arranged that each main muscle group is exercised in turn. Example, A leg exercise can be followed by one that is designed to promote strength in either the arms or the trunk. In this method, exercises are not performed in a circuit method. Required number of repetitions and sets of each exercise are completed before proceeding to the next exercise. Variations in intensity, repetitions, sets and recovery can be done to develop different forms of strength. Next is the combination method or system. This method is most suited for the development of strength endurance. This system is not at all recommended for maximum strength development. Combined method differs from simple method in terms of recovery to be provided between various sets. Progressive resistance technique, also in short called PRT, can be effectively implemented in this method. The third method for training strength is the superset method or system. This method is most suited for the development of maximum strength. However, it can also be used for training other forms of strength. Since this approach places stress on high intensity workouts, it is not recommended for beginners. Between the set for developing flexor and extensor muscles, no recovery is provided. Examples of a schedule of 6 strength training exercises can consist of sit-ups, back hyperextension, half squat, leg curls from supine position, arms curls and French press. 3 sets each of 6 to 8 repetitions are performed. Next method is the pyramid method or system. This method is best for developing maximum strength. In this system, any strength training exercise is chosen and in each set, 3 to 5 repetitions are performed with maximum load. As a part of the procedure, near recovery should be ensured. A good warm-up session is an important prerequisite for this method. Next method for developing strength is plyometrics or reactive method. This method is effective for the development of explosive strength. This system involves stretch shortening cycle of the muscle. The following exercises can be done: hopping, bounding, depth jumps. Another method for developing strength is the circuit training method. Circuit training is an effective method for developing strength endurance. A circuit of 6 to 8 exercises is arranged in such a way that different muscle groups are exercised at different stations. The performer moves from one station to another and undertakes load and recovery in the following 2 ways. That is, firstly, 30 seconds exercise and 30 seconds rest between 2 stations. And the second method is 20 seconds exercise and 40 seconds rest between the 2 stations. Some of the examples may consist of sand running for distance runners, uphill running and downhill running for sprinters, running against headwind for runners, swimming against the water current, cycling against headwind, playing on loose surfaces, smashing in volleyball with wrist collars, playing football with weight jackets, wrestling against a heavier partner, etc. And now let us discuss about the important points of the management of the strength training program. Effective management of strength training deals with actual performance of strength training in a training unit or a training schedule. For proper management, two important points are to be kept in mind. First is the procedure of arrangement of strength training exercises. Second is the procedure of administering strength training load during a training session. Let us discuss the procedure of arrangement of strength training exercises first. Three procedures are adopted. First is the simple training system or station training. Second is the set training system. And the third one is the circuit training system. Now let us discuss about the procedure for administering training load. This procedure involves amount of resistance and the number of repetition of an exercise. The important loading procedures are as follows. First, fixed resistance and fixed repetitions. Secondly, increasing the resistance and fixed repetitions. Thirdly, varying resistance and fixed repetitions. Fourth is reducing resistance and fixed repetitions. Now coming to the contrast method. In this system of strength development, sets are performed in such a way that the high and low resistance are alternate. The resistance is increased in steps over a period of weeks. For example, 60%, then 20%, and then 80% and 35%, and then going to 80% and 40%. To finally conclude today's discussion, we can say that strength is an important component of various conditional abilities, skills, and tactical actions. Exercises involving competitive movements and done with additional weights, for example, hurdling with weight jackets on, kicking in a soccer ball with ankle weight collars on, etc. This method is good for improving technique. It is effective for developing speed of movement and endurance. These methods involve stretch shortening. The muscles first stretches against resistance and then contracted maximally. The cycle of the muscle continues. With this, we can conclude the topic. Thank you.